A novel is broken up into chapters. Each chapter begins with a title that hints to the chapter's overall and central theme. Similar is the name of a parsha. The name of the parsha is the title which hints to the topic or topics that will occur in that parsha. As such, we should expect that any topic found in the parsha should in some way be related to the name of the parsha. This week's parsha is called BeHaalotechah, which is translated to mean to light the menorah. If this was the only place in the parsha that deals with lighting the menorah, then how can this name BeHaalotechah be relevant for the whole parsha? True, in its context, BeHaalotechah does mean to light the menorah. The word itself, however, does not mean to light. Rashi, quoting Masechet Shabbat, says that by using the word BeHaalotechah for lighting the menorah, the Torah is teaching us that when the Kohen Gadol lights the menorah, he must be with each light until it remains lit by itself. That is to say, the Kohen Gadol was not lighting the lights, but raising up the lights until they were self-sustaining. Understanding the word BeHaalotechah in this manner should mean that any and all topics within the parsha should have some sort of connection to either raising up and or being self-sustained. How does this hold for the rest of the topics in the parsha? The first topic that comes after lighting the menorah is the elevation of the Levium, replacing the firstborns in the temple service. Not only was this permanent, but the way to elevate the Levium was to literally raise them in the air, a very symbolic action. The next topic is about Pesach Sheni, a person who missed the Pesach offering in its proper time due to no fault of their own, is able to make it up a month later. The next set of topics describe Israel's camping and travel plans. God telegraphed to Israel if he wanted them to break camp and move, or to settle in and encamp by using the pillar of cloud that inhabited the tent of meeting. However, not everyone might understand or even see the movement of the pillar of cloud. As such, the Torah then describes how special trumpets must be made in order to announce various messages to the people by blowing specific sounds on them. The Torah then finishes this unit by triumphantly describing the first time Israel broke camp, packing up and moving information, exactly as laid out in the Torah. Besides for all these topics being uplifting, it's easy to understand how these topics can satisfy the motifs of raising up and or being self-sustaining. But this is only the first half of the parsha. Something happens halfway. Moshe's father-in-law decides to return to Midian. Even with Moshe pleading with him not to do so, he still leaves. And from then on, it's downhill. The people complain about only eating the manna and not having meat to eat. The complaining makes Moshe feel overwhelmed, and at God's instruction, Moshe appoints 70 elders to assist him dealing with the people. And finally, the parsha ends with the story of Miriam and Aaron complaining about Moshe's marriage. God admonishes them and inflicts Miriam with something that looks like tzarat, forcing Miriam to leave the camp for 7 days while waiting to see if she does or doesn't have tzarat. If the second half is so positively pessimistic, how can it be part of the parsha whose theme is to raise up? By having both uplifting and disappointing occurrences in a parsha whose theme is to raise up, Chazal wanted to teach us an important lesson. We shouldn't think that only positive actions can be considered to raise up. Sometimes negative actions also are. In fact, many times it is specifically the negative occurrences and actions that are ultimately the most uplifting, for only by hitting rock bottom can we truly rise and achieve those heights. Yes, those latter topics in the parsha might have been disappointing, but ultimately they enabled those involved to rise up to even higher heights later on. And as it says in Mishlei, for a righteous person falls 7 times, yet each time rises up again. Shabbat Shalom.